like it means nothing.
Okay, deep fake it till you make it. So I'm Ross Bailey, so as a bit of an icebreaker, I'll let you guess which one is actually me. Well, what was the original photo? So it's obviously on the left, as you can see, but this was done in seconds. I can choose a face, preferably someone who's balding, because that's the sort of fit for me. Then you can easily do that these days and just change your face quite easily. So as a bit of an icebreaker, when I was going to get this photo shoot done, by Rasmus, a good professional photographer who I know. I was driving down, quite nervous, I'm going to get my photo done, and I was speeding down the motorway in Vasa, because that's where I'm from, and I noticed it was snowing, this Ranta or whatever, very heavily. So I was driving down the road, and I noticed a flash, and it went off, and I was like, what was that? What was that flash? So it was I thought at first a meteor. So it was going through my head. But actually, it was a speed camera. So the first one I've had ever in my life. So the flash went off, and it was all I could talk about during the photo shoot. So that's why I have this furrowed expression there. So I'm going to show you a picture now, and I tried to use AI to enhance it, but I don't know. I got this through 2 months after the incident anyway, and be prepared. Okay. Now, I would like to add that I'm not on amphetamines or anything there. I'm actually, I don't know what was going on, but I don't know if it was worth 120 euros. And I did try to run it through AI, but I can't do anything. But anyway, on to who am I? It's a good question. So I'm Ross Bailey. I've worked in IT for 20 plus years, and you might have seen on I have the widest face on Google search. Now, you might be wondering what that means. If you put in Ross Bailey, but if you put in Ross Bailey into Google search, you'll find lots of more successful Ross Baileys than me. But if you put Ross Bailey OT or something like that, then you'll find my face in manufacturing today. And you can see, ironically, it was probably done by AI, the whole article actually, and obviously the aspect ratio was done by AI. So that was kind of a claim to fame that I was in my previous work. So that's something about me. I'm also a cybersecurity expert. Okay, I love that term. And I'm working at the moment as lead OT cybersecurity in Fortum. I'm not going to be talking about OT this time, maybe next year. Let's see if I can bring the guys along and do something around that. And in my sort of meaning in my life is to help us all be a bit more cyber safe. And my motto in life, because I think we all need a motto, is that we're all part of the cyber team, just some of us actually get paid more for being actually in the real team. So that's my thing. And I'm, as you're going to discover very soon, I'm a sci-fi, retro, and futurist enthusiast, among other things. So this was also done with AI. I don't know if you recognize this meme. This was done in seconds as well. You can put any video and make a still photo do this. So there we go. It's a common meme. That was a bit of a laugh amongst the guys. So just another example that we're doing. So on to the thing at hand. Now, why am I talking about AI? Well, everyone's talking about AI, aren't they, it seems. So why am I talking about it? But I'd like to go back to my childhood. So you may not believe it, but I was actually born in the 70s. So I know. But growing up in 1980, a guy called, does anyone know who this man is? Woo! Yeah, no, he needs a lot of kudos. Yeah, Clive Sinclair. So he brought out a computer called the ZX81. So the ZX81, it had a Z80A processor, which had a whopping 3.25 megahertz with 1 kilobyte ROM. So you couldn't really do much with that, but you used to get these magazines where you would type in BASIC, a game, and when I say game, I mean game in the loosest sense of the form of the word. But you would type in a game, and then once you reset, it was gone. So, and you'll also see on the top right there, the bottom right and the top right, there's the ZX Spectrum 48K. So that brought about graphics, and there's a screenshot there of The Hobbit. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about The Hobbit later. and you'll realize why that I've got that picture there. So Clive Sinclair, in 1984, he went to the US Congress, and he actually did a talk entitled Silicon Dreams. And in that talk, you can look it up online. I'll share the link if you ask me. He prophesied that we were giving birth to a synthetic, like a silicon-based life form that would be here within the next, he said, within the next 100 years. So what that means, he was saying, in the article, you can read it, he was saying that we wouldn't be getting visitors from UFOs from space, but we would actually be creating them ourselves, an alien entity. So that seems pretty absurd, but it's coming to fruition, arguably. So there we go. So also, why am I talking about AI? So does anyone recognize the bottom chap there in yellow? Does anyone know who that is? Richard's not here from last night. I was discussing him. Anyway, so Philip K. Dick. So growing up, I was a massive Philip K. Dick fan. You see in the middle there, there's Blade Runner. He wrote a book called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It became the Harrison Ford movie, Blade Runner. And in that film, which I was fascinated by, it addresses so many of these philosophical and ethical issues, all related around, essentially, artificial intelligence. So what it is to be human, what is consciousness, and I don't want to spoil the film, but it turns out that Deckard, the main character, maybe he was a replicant as well, and he didn't know. So that just sort of added. We have Battlestar Galactica there, which is another, the remake I prefer more than the original, but the essence of it is also around AI becoming some kind of superpower trying to destroy us. And then we have Westworld, bottom left, which talks about the ethical implications about how we interact with these artificial life or other kinds of life forms, and how we interact with them and what that means ethically. And of course, RoboCop, because everyone loves RoboCop, don't they? So this chap here, you'll notice a theme here, a lot of bald guys. So Vernon Vinge, bald white guys, I mean, yeah, middle-aged. But Vernon Vinge, now he released a paper in 1993 called The Technological Singularity. He actually coined the term, the singularity. So the singularity is the point at when AI becomes not self-aware, because that means it would have consciousness. It doesn't have to have consciousness. It's when it starts self-improving itself. And we're starting to see that now with these multimodal models, etc. So when it can actually self-improve itself, he argued that intelligence would go, exponential growth. So in his paper, which you can read, he'll say, I'll be surprised if this event occurs before 2005 or after 2030. So we're kind of in a sweet spot here, isn't it? So we're 2025 now. But I remember reading this back when I was at university, and I was like, oh, I was obsessed with this. Everyone thought, well, not everyone. I was talking about it to my friends and my family. They're like, what are you talking about? So I just stop doing this stuff. So Nick Bostrom is the next chap. So Swedish man. Yep. He's based in Oxford University. Now his job is, imagine this as a job. He sits in Oxford University and he sits around thinking about how humanity is going to end. Now that sounds very depressing, but he seems to enjoy it. You can listen to him on podcasts, etc. So in his 2014 book called Superintelligence, he likes to use a lot of metaphor. So urn theory, vulnerable world hypothesis. So the idea with this is that scientists are creating things, they're putting their hands in this imaginary urn and they're pulling out balls. And these balls have different colors. So a white ball is something positive, a creation. So that could be something, a vaccine, or something that there's no bad things. So beneficial to human life. So a gray ball is something that represents technologies which have mixed consequences, positive and negative. So you could think about nuclear power. You have the nuclear bomb, but you have energy. So he argues that a black ball, AI could be one of our black balls, because obviously he thinks about a lot of these things, but which would mean that it's an existential risk to humanity. So other ones are manufactured nanotechnological weapons, and uncontrollable AI, and engineered pandemics, for example. So that's another one. But he's actually just released a book, which I finished last week. It came out in January, so that was called Deep Utopia. So he puts on his head there in Deep Utopia, he talks about, well, what if AI solves everything? You know, what if we live in a society where we solve all problems? And actually, that's not a utopia. It sounds, you know, that it could be a problem also because we would have no meaning. What would we do? You know, so very interesting chap. I recommend that you have a look at his books. And so, what does this mean? This is a perfect storm. So, we have the availability of deepfake video technology. We have the availability of voice cloning technology. It's the perfect storm for winding up your friends. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to some demos here. So let's hope that the demo gods are smiling. And here's a list of some of the tools that I'm going to use. I'll share this PowerPoint afterwards, or PDF links, so you can have a go. And this is changing basically daily, these lists of tools that are available, because the speed at which things are developing. But what I'm going to do first is, you probably all know this Open Web UI. I'm going to use that as to access local language models on the computer locally. And the focus of this is that all of these things I can do locally on a computer. I don't need an internet access to do this, but I do have internet access, but I don't need that. So back to the Hobbit as well. So I'm going to do some prompt engineering. We all know what that means. So a good way back to Clive Sinclair and his Spectrum, I used to play a game called The Hobbit. In The Hobbit, I'd always end up in Mirkwood, and there'd be spiders there, and I would be dead. So I don't think you could get through Mirkwood, actually. But on the way, you could do things. You were using this English parser language. So if you did, like, attack goblin, then you would die. But if you said attack goblin with a sword, then the goblin would die, but you would go on to die in Mirkwood eventually. So I'm going to show a bit like how prompt engineering is like that, to give the LLMs a lens in which to interpret what you want. So, as it was Valentine's Day, because I didn't know if I would be on Valentine's Day or if I would have been today, but I'm today, so there we are. But as it's Valentine's Day yesterday, so imagine it's yesterday, I'm going to use this demo. We're going to create a fake Tinder profile, and then we're going to create some images with Stable Diffusion, and then I'm going to try and become that person here live on stage via the video. So bear with me. Let me now go to my screen, if this works. Let me check this out. Okay. So you can use different models on here. I think you can see this. So I've got the Llama 3.2, which is the meta model at the moment. So you can do lots of things with this Open Web UI that you probably already know about. Some of the interesting stuff is it can actually become a person. So I like playing around this. You can give it like a persona, whether that would be, for instance, Sigmund Freud. So you could use the language model to talk to Sigmund Freud, for example. You could say, all right, create me your Tinder profile. Let's see what Sigmund Freud, how he interprets this. I don't know, maybe this will work, or maybe. Okay, the unconscious matchmaker. Okay, Sigmund Freud, his age is chronically 40. He's younger than me. He looks a lot older. Renowned neurologist. So we could make a profile of Sigmund Freud, for example. But what we can also do is we can have a new chat here. We can change the model back, and we can do something like, I imagine that a lot of you guys are into Dungeons and Dragons. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this prompt that I created previously to create a Dungeons and Dragons character. So what I've put at the end is here that they'll have a dating bio as well. So if someone wants to feel brave and give me a name, nothing too long and complicated like Finnish. Anybody? If not, I'll put, sorry? Silver? Okay, Silver. It has to be a man's name, preferably. Is that a man's name, or? Okay, Silver. I'll tell you what, I'll put Sammy Liho. Let's try her. We all know Sammy Liho, don't we? All right, let's have a look. Sammy Liho, he's born in, and this is all made up, it's AI hallucinating, but he was born into a family of modest means, etc., on the outskirts of a bustling city. So this is his Dungeons and Dragons character. What's his flaws? Sammy has an intense fear of failure, don't we all? Okay, anyway, as I go on, the point is this, is that we can just create content like this, which is going out on the internet, which is pretty good content. But what I want to do now is I want to create Sammy's image. So let me now take this up. Sorry, I didn't actually start this before the demo. Let's see. So I want one sentence of his appearance. It doesn't matter. You know, come on. These glasses, I want to replace them, but I'm waiting for my 6 months until I can do it through the company. So that's why it's... okay. I said one sentence. I don't want an essay here. Another typo. You make me nervous now. Tense. Yeah, all right. One sentence. All right. Sammy stands at 5'9". That is the average height of a man, because I'm 5'9". It's not short. Let's just see. Oh, come on. Is it going to create Sammy? Let's see how long it's going to take. Ooh, it's loading a model. Come on. Oh, brilliant. This is good. I have some tricks in my pocket if this was to happen. So I can try Gemini. Let's create this imaginary. All right. Okay, here we go. Imogen 3. Oh, right. That looks like a woman to me. I need to specify man or... I'm learning to do this. It's for Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, let's see if that... Absolutely, since you're a fan of Q, the continuum. Okay, let's brainstorm some ideas. All right. So this is fantastic. That's not Sammy Liho, is it? All right, let's imagine that I've just created loads of interesting pictures of Sammy Liho here, which isn't actually him, but let's go. Yes, okay. So I have these like extra pictures sort of on of people's faces here, so we can choose some out here. There's Sammy there, but imagine that this had been created by this. Oh crikey! He's looking really ill. I really don't know what. He doesn't look well at all, does he? So maybe we don't. Let me now. What I'm going to do now. So let's just imagine that it had created this as Sammy Liho. No, not that. Someone else. Let's have a look. Here we go. All right. Okay. Let's. Oh dear me. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually, yeah, here we go. All right, now we need to do some stuff here. And then we do this. Right, let's attempt this anyway to actually become someone's face here and do that, and then we just get on with the... Now I'm doing for time. I've got 11 minutes. And they said that I have to be off the stage immediately. So let's get this going. So if I select a face here. So let's do one that I did earlier. Okay, so this gentleman I created earlier. Let's just imagine. So if I do a live. And this is from like one picture. So we can do. Let's see if this works. Hopefully. That's very small. It's very small, isn't it? Anyway, that's the only thing. Okay, look at this guy. All right, okay, all right, let's try another then. I sensed a lot of laughs when there was a certain individual here, this chap. Does anyone know who this guy is? He's another bald man. Who's, Terve! I think you all know him. I can't do his voice. Oh, I'm wearing glasses when I'm not wearing glasses. That's fantastic, isn't it? All right. Now we're cooking. Yeah, oh, that's a colleague. Yeah, so I think you get the point. I think there's a few people in here. There was the Rock, maybe, could be good. But the point of this being is be careful what you share, because you can just take one photo. He doesn't wear glasses, does he, this chap? But I can't see anything else. But yeah, that's working. Why didn't the image generation work very well? But there we go. That's the nature of the demo. So what I was going to show there as well, but maybe I can upload something, is that you can put someone with their face in Stable Diffusion in different poses, which I would create from the large language model there. So, but I'm aware of time, so let's keep going. So I kind of did this. Let's just say I created a sort of. So on to the next part. So here is one of my best friends, Warren, and we do lots of stuff together. We go to parties and etc. And we've known each other since we were 20. And one of our pastimes is to wind each other up and play jokes on one another. So when I started getting into this voice cloning and deep faking, I thought, oh, I can send Warren a message for his birthday as one, because we love Rambo. I don't know, any Rambo fans? I'm a child of the 80s, so I loved Rambo growing up. So we can quote the film back and forward to each other endlessly. So I thought, oh, I'll do him a message from Sylvester Stallone. So this is me. I've self-proclaimed cybersecurity expert there. That's an older photo. I had to. But if we can listen, this is the original video. So.
You know what they say? They say...
That's me. This is...
I've heard people saying about you, Colonel Troutman.
All right, that goes on for 3 minutes, which I won't play here. But we'll listen to that same audio, just run through as Sylvester Stallone.
You know what they say? They say that... I've heard people saying about you, Colonel Troutman, Big John, or all of these people, but hey, man, it's your birthday, Warren. I just wanted to take this opportunity to reach out to you. Call you an asshole.
All right, so yeah, but it gets better. Yeah. So and for demo purposes, there's like 3 minutes of that. So, but how about our favorite guy of the moment, Donald Trump? Controversial character, at least to say, but let's.
You know what they say that I've heard people saying about you, Colonel Troutman, Big John. All of these people, but I got this message. It was from a guy, Ross Bailey. He told me to give you a call. He's a great guy. He's, you know, he was saying I should give you a ring.
Anyway, yeah, so you get the point. So that sounds like him. And then what about someone more close to home? So you can actually, I cloned, the other voices, Stallone and Trump, you can download them off the internet, the files to do it. But Sammy's not famous yet enough to have himself freely available on the internet. So what you need to do is clone his voice. And because he's on YouTube quite a lot, you can take that and you can clone his voice, which I did. With his permission, by the way. So I've asked him to do this. This isn't a...
You know what they say? They say that... I've heard people saying about you, Colonel Troutman, Big John, all of these people, but hey man, it's your birthday, Warren. I just wanted to take this opportunity to reach out to you, call you an asshole.
Yeah, so there we go. So that's Sammy. So I would like to now go on to a little part that I call being Sammy Laiho. So I did this previously at HIUSEC. So big shout out to the HIUSEC crew. Anyone in here? There's 3 or 4 people down here from the HIUSEC. Yeah, but so I did this talk before, and it is quite similar. And there we had Sammy Laiho visiting, so I took the opportunity to clone his voice and do this video for him. But he's not at Disobey this year, so I thought I would fabricate. Well, you can make up for yourself. So if it is actually a message from him, or whether it isn't, I'll let you decide. So here we go. Here's a message from Sammy. Let's play this. Okay.
Sammy Laiho here. Hi guys. Sorry I couldn't make it this year to Disobey. I'm actually doing deep research into Microsoft Excel for Microsoft actually. So you know I'm the wizard of Microsoft Excel. Yeah, just can't be helped. But anyway, in my stead, there's a gentleman here, Ross Bailey. He's adequate at some kind of cybersecurity expertise. So enjoy his show, and just stay safe out there. Signing out, the Wizard of Excel, Sami Laiho.
All right. But this was done like with one photo and, you know, I mean, you could probably train it more and do more, but I think you get the point what this is about. So we've got 4 minutes left. Okay, but I could go into the conclusion now. We could go back and try and draw Sami Laiho again, but it didn't work so much. But what I'd like to draw from this is that at the moment it's scary, but it's exciting times. And obviously, don't trust everything you see. And like with everything, use mindfulness, you know, take a step back and think before acting in all situations, including when you interact with people online, etc. And enjoy living in the utopia/dystopia. I think a big thing, a sort of takeaway of this is that depending on the lens which we see the world, we can be living, or where we live actually, there's a lot of people definitely living in some kind of dystopia, but I would argue that I'm pretty much in a utopia here in lovely Finland. So with that, I'm 3 minutes early, but I think I'll draw that to a close, and thank you very much for your time.